My dad. Hey, listen, my dad. He used to have a couple in his office. It was crazy. I was like, "That's what you wore?" He's like, "Yeah, that's what we wore." Like, you put it in your back pocket. I was like, "Man, game's changed a lot."
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Jake Ferguson gets a contract extension. What's your thoughts about linking up one of your primary people?
Yeah, excited for Jake. Everything he's done. You know, last year, obviously, he didn't feel like he had the best year, but I think it just shows you we're always evaluating everything. And things he's done for us from a play temperament, the enforcer that he is. He loves football. He's got that throwback type mentality. Just really, really excited for him. And anytime you get a chance to, get a guy done, which there's a number of guys that we're working to get done, you're excited for him.
Game a long time, obviously. How much was that sense of relief for a player entering a contract here that I'm secured here?
Yeah, I think it is a sense of relief. I think, each situation is very different. Everybody's a little different how they want to, look at it, the business side of it. And, okay, there's numbers involved and business is business. But I think each person is a little different. And each situation, each contract, the negotiation, the money, the years, all those things are very, very different. So, but thrilled for Jake, his family, what he's done. I guess now he can afford the rock that he gave his sweetie. So that's awesome.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys, and for the record, when I played, we wore pads. We had to wear our knee pads.
Can you prove it? Is there pictures? Are there pictures?
And we had big shoulder pads. We had a little bitty thing.
We did have big shoulder pads. I played quarterback, and those things were sitting up underneath. I couldn't turn my head to see what was going on down the field. I get it.
Regarding Jake, can you just talk about projection for his future? I mean, you have a nice tight end room, so you saw Span Ford with the big catch yesterday and his development and growth. You talk about that room and what you see moving forward for Jake.
Yeah, I will say this. I think we've talked about this, first couple of days. Jake's last year wasn't to his standard or to our standard. There's a lot of reasons for that. He got dinged up a little bit. Quite honestly, there's ways that we should have used him a little bit better. I need to take that. But I think what we expect is the Fergie we had 2 years ago, and the big play guy for us down in the red zone, the contested catches, guy that Dak trusts. He had a big play yesterday on a free play situation for him. So we expect Fergie to have a terrific season. But you nailed it. I mean, honestly, that room is so exciting for us to watch because it's a young room. I mean, Brevin Spawn Ford makes the huge play yesterday. Scooney's moving as well as he's moved since he's been here. He's playing with as much confidence as he has. Princeton fan, I just see him growing. They call him Bull because he's so damn strong. When he gets his hands on you, you're not getting off. And he's got the playbook down now, which is exciting for me. The consistency of the mental side, and then again some of the young guys. They're getting their feet wet. Valdo and Tyler Neville. So exciting room. And then you got to talk about Hunter Lepke. I mean, he's playing some tight end as well. I mean, Hunter is that guy that, another player that you're like, man, there's just not much that we don't trust him to do. Run the ball, protect, play tight end, play fullback, and very competitive room, but a young room, which is exciting.
Everybody gets excited about Pickens and certainly CD, but how important is that security blanket tight end for Dak? I know when he's had his best years, Schultz had a big year, and certainly a couple of years ago, Ferguson had a big year when he had his big years. Just talk about that security blanket, the tight end for quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I'm going to go back because you've hit Dak, but let's go back to Troy when Troy was playing at such a high level. Novacek and guys like that. There's guys that know how to work the middle of the field and attack seams and the underneath coverages and. You read, almost you don't read, you feel things the same way, and so you hook up in zones and you throw guys open, and there's what we call trust throws or me to you throws where it's like, okay, man, I'm going to throw it to you to a spot. Yeah, you're kind of covered up, but you're not covered, and I think that's huge for all quarterbacks, and Dak is certainly a guy that maximizes having that guy like that he trusts.
Todd Archer with ESPN. You mentioned the other day with Ferguson, he's dropped some weight. Was that something that he wanted to do? You guys, what was the purpose behind it?
It was really him. I just think he felt like, hey, how can I move to the best of my ability? How can I, just sustain, the great season because his weight's kind of gone up and down. He loses a lot of weight, and I think he's at a great weight right now. I think that his nutrition plan has changed quite a bit. That's what happens when we get engaged. I have a wife that's on me about my nutrition all the time, and so I listen to her, make good choices. But I think he's realized as he's matured, like, this is important. I got to take care of my body, and that's not just lifting and running. It's what do I put in my body? What do I eat? What vitamins do I take? All that stuff.
And then on Micah for a second, the last 2 days that he's been out there, it's been in tennis shoes. Doesn't have his helmet and cleats. Is there some reason why he's kind of altered?
Yeah, no, same situation that we're dealing with. Again, each day is different, and today we're in pads, and we'll take a look, and a number of guys I got to check on, but no, nothing to report there.
John Machado with The Athletic. In your time now as head coach, have you noticed a difference at all in your working relationship with Jerry Jones? And is there a difference between Jerry Jones, the GM, and Jerry Jones, the owner, that you've seen?
Good question. I think anytime you spend more time with somebody, you get to know them better, and I definitely feel like Jerry and I, through this whole process, we got closer. We talk all the time. We were watching the practice film yesterday, and it's very routine for Jerry and Steven and John Steven and a bunch of the Will McClay, the executives, to come in there. We love that because I want them to know what we're teaching and what's being told. And we talk, of course, personnel, who had a good day, who had a bad day, and I think it's good for him. He obviously understands the game of football very, very well. But to me, we're all about communication, not just me and Jerry, me to the coaching staff, me to the players, coaches to the players, coaches to coaches. If you can't communicate, then you're not going to be aligned. You're not going to be on the same page, so you're not going to reach your maximum potential. And, am I more comfortable with Jerry now than I was when I first, started talking to him? Of course. That's just natural from spending time together. But I think we have great communication, great back and forth, and that's really myself with all the executives.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. A big component of these contract extensions that we've talked about over the course of the last few months has been leadership. What have you seen from Jake Ferguson in that department, and how comfortable do you feel that he can be that leader?
Again, I use the word enforcer. His play style, his play temperament is just it's just wired right, man. Like, I remember playing Seattle, a couple years back, and he catches a little tight end screen, he takes off running, and Jamal Adams is coming from the side and kind of drills him, and he just kind of gets up, and he's not going to take any shit off anybody, and so he's got he's face mask to face mask talking trash, and he's the first guy to support somebody when there's a melee. When we had an issue the other day, he was the first guy in there, kind of being, I won't say the calming force, but I guess I can't say voice of reason either, at least trying to separate people. But going back to that Seattle game, then he makes a huge play on Jamal. We run a little wheel route up the boundary, and he catches it. And he plays off of that passion. He loves the game. I mean, shoot, to be honest, his grandfather's Barry Alvarez. He's been playing physical football for a long time, his entire life, and that's the only way he knows.
Simone Rebel, we saw him doing a little bit of things with the individual drills yesterday. Is that more of a mental reps thing, or could he be nearing a return?
Again, we're not going to put timetables on it. He's doing some great things. Most importantly, met his dad yesterday. His dad's awesome. He's excited, but again, he's progressing nicely, doing a good job.
Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. You told us a couple times that you don't really know much about running backs until they put the pads on. What's telling for you today from the running backs? What's telling you that, hey, this guy's having a good day, having a bad day?
How they run through contact, how they work in tight spaces. The windows and the running lanes will get smaller today because of the pads and the fact that we're thudding. Like we've been tagging off today. We're going to thud. What's that mean? We're going to strike with our shoulders, do a quick wrap and release. You find out guys that can play with leverage, guys that can lower their shoulders, guys that can keep their balance when they're hit. But the other thing you look for is the guys that do a really good job of when they're pressing a hole, they don't have to hesitate. They trust it, almost like a race car driver. I always think of that Days of Thunder movie where Cole Trickle's coming around the bend, right? And he's like, hey, I don't know if I can do it. And Harry says, hey, you can do it. And he does. And that's a little bit like playing running back, man. You got to trust it. And we want to see that today. Great movie, by the way.
Harry lied to him.
Hey, why you got to ruin the story for the people who haven't seen the movie? I mean, spoiler alert. Jeez.
Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys.com. Circling back to Jake and his style of play, not just the demeanor, but you mentioned, rightfully so, he's a threat downfield, he's a threat underneath. As a play caller, what does that do for you as far as opening up things for CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens?
Well, it's important, You always assume when you've got two elite receivers on the outside, okay, well, what's the defense going to do? There's going to be teams that want to get up in our face and play us press man-to-man, and that's great. They have the right to do that, but you certainly do think that you're going to get lighter boxes, more too-high coverages, whether it's quarters, cloud, there's all kinds of variations of it. So to have that guy that can work the middle of the field, attack the middle of the field, I think that's really, really important. But it's the size of it. And when I spoke about the kind of the way we used Fergie 2 years ago, which, again, I felt like we didn't do a great job using him last year, and that's me, was he's got such a big body and such great body control that when he's running vertically, he's kind of always open because he's got great body control. He's got ability to adjust his hands and make plays. And so I think, really attacking seams and attacking across the field and doing things like that, his size and catch radius really does help.
Obviously, in the unpadded practices, you love the intensity, but it spilled over a couple of times. As pads go on and the thud and the pops start to happen, what's your message to the guys to kind of walk that line between being as intense as possible and play, have yourself time?
Yeah, we have to build calluses. I said that to the guys. What's that mean? We have to have physical practices. We have to thud. We have to strike. Stay off the ground. Strike a guy, wrap him up, okay, and then release him so we can run. Our superpower is the way we run and finish and all that stuff. We want our guys to play on the edge, but we don't want them to go over the edge. And nothing's changed. Don't throw punches. It sounds simple, but today we just put up there, hey, this is the type of practice it is, meaning not the practice schedule, but we're in pads. What does that mean? And we clearly went through it. Okay, hey, it's, finished live through the ball. We're thudding today. Okay, what's that mean? O-line, D-line, you're full speed, stay off the ground, QB halo, all that stuff. When you explain to people clearly, you have a better chance of having them do it the right way, and that's what we're trying to do. We try to communicate and coach. Will it be perfect? Probably not, but we'll make those corrections, and then when we're in pads again, it should be a little bit better. But we want our guys to play on the edge. We do. We've got personalities that should play on the edge, but you can't go over the edge, and you can't hurt the team.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. There's definitely a couple guys we're excited to see in pads. I'm just curious if there's anyone you're excited to see and evaluate now that the pads.
Well, somebody barked today in the meetings. It was Sam Williams. So that was like when I put up that we were in pads, because we had a countdown. Like in OTAs, we were like 68 practices, 63 practices. Okay, we're at 50. We're getting closer, And today we put the zero up there, and I think it was definitely Sam. He barked. So I think Sam is excited. But there's a lot of guys, and again, it's going to be physical. It's going to be the right way. But at the end of the day, we have to protect one another. And that's the objective. We're going to take care of one another. No cheap shots, no side shots, keep guys up off the ground. And the best teams in the world, they practice that way in pads.
Tyler Herro's been starting with the ones this whole time since he's been drafted. Yesterday, he was with the twos. Just what was the thought process behind putting him with the second team?
Yeah, it was really compete every day. That's the central theme of the program. Rob Jones has been doing some really, really good things. Tyler's kind of hitting that mark where it was like a little bit like, whoa, okay, doing some good things, but doing some things that, weren't to the standard. So what do? You make a change. Is it permanent? I don't know. I think Tyler's going to be back out there again today with the ones, but you can't stand up here and have the central theme of your program be compete every day, and if a guy's performing well, not reward him. Just like when we split up and do different things, you're going to, move guys around and do things like that. So you'll see that more and more as we go, not just with Tyler, but with the entire team. And it's cool you guys track that and see that, because that's something that we're all about.
What have you seen? I know it's early, but what have you seen from Joe Milton so far and how he's fitting in with this offensive scheme?
Yeah, well, number one, he's fitting in amazing. It's fun for me when I'm in the quarterback room and Steve Shimko's making corrections and things, just to watch the way the three of those guys interact, meaning Will, Dak, and Joe. Joe, from the get-go, has just absolutely loved being in this environment. He's loved being in that room. The culture that Shimmy's built is amazing. Dak is great for Joe, but it's fun because Joe is really people don't know this. He's kind of he's a nerd when it comes to throwing mechanics in a good way. That's not a bad thing. Like, he's very, very well coached, and he understands throwing mechanics. So I love when he gives Dak some corrections, like, hey, watch your front shoulder there. And Dak's like, yeah, I see it, So it's really kind of cool. But the thing I love about Joe, too, is Joe is true to his personality. He wants to be coach hard. He's got strong opinions, but when explained to, he's like, yep, makes perfect sense. Say less. And so it's been awesome. And he's playing really well. He's playing with confidence. Again, as we keep building with the installs for all those guys, it's going to be interesting to see how they do. I call it driving the car. When you're the quarterback, you're driving the race car. You're Cole Trickle. You're in charge of it. So as we keep stacking these installs, it'll be interesting to see where all three of them go.
Where he learned his nerdiness, his throwing mechanics from? Is there a specific coach he works with in the past, or do you know where that came from?
He's had a number of them, so I don't know all of their names. He's had a number of them, but he really does study it, and I'm sure he'll share that with you. But, like, this is a guy that during the offseason, when we were on the break, he was having guys over to his house and, was meeting with them and going through the installs. Like, you don't see that. I've been around a long time. You don't see that with a lot of second-year quarterbacks where he's having some of the young guys come over and they're going through installs. But most of these guys, they all have quarterback coaches now from the time they're 10 and 12 years old. And I think that's my next career, is I'm going to be a QB whisperer, and you guys will never see my face again. But they all have them, and he's had a number of them.
Coach Sam Gannon, Fox 4 Dallas. What most excites you about Jaden Blue's skill set? He had that great one-handed grab yesterday. I know you'll be able to tell more, with the pass on.
Yeah, the speed, the dynamic playmaking ability. I think he's a dual threat guy. I think you can hand him the ball. He doesn't need a lot of space to make people miss, and his acceleration is uncanny. I mean, his ability to get to top speed is unique. It's a little bit unfair because the route yesterday was on Peyton Turner. So it was a fire zone gone bad for the defense. Like, that's what you say. You're like, oh, shit, that fire zone went bad. Peyton got stuck on Jaden Blue. Then Joe got moved off the spot. But, he's just he's such a talented young man. But what I like is the professionalism that he's shown at this camp. I think it's one of those things where, like, he's here and he's like, okay, I think it's kind of go time. I had my little bit of learning curve in the off-season program and all this new language. You got to remember, these guys, they rarely hear play calls in the huddle. They get signals and they're going fast. And so I think he's much more comfortable with what we're doing. So you're seeing him play faster, freer, and more confident. I do. I actually asked Jerry if he had any thoughts. Daniel does a great job. Daniel from our ops department, he does a great job. We actually call him DJ Daniel, and I know the guys give him some of their favorites, and he does a terrific job with it. It's a tough job. I mean, I DJ my kids on the boat, and they're always like, "Dad, this song's terrible." So I kind of get the pressure that is being DJ Daniel.
So one of those is a Jerry song?
No, Jerry's song's not been played yet. I'm going to have to talk to Daniel about that. I'm not going to tell you guys Jerry's song. I'm going to let you guys figure it out. It's probably going to be one that sounds the most different from all the other ones. You're going to probably be like, oh, that's probably Jerry's song.
Mike Leslie, WFA. You talked about Sam Williams barking in the team meeting this morning. You saw Kyrie Elum with his Rafiki moment yesterday. You guys had Darian Thompson surfing on a backboard. A lot's been talked about the energy that you're trying to bring to this team. Is this what you want? Is this the image that you were trying to create? Are you happy with what you've seen so far in the first week?
Absolutely. I mean, we want our guys to play with juice. This is a game. We play a kid's game in front of some incredible fans that are supporting us and bringing the energy. I thought yesterday's turnout was great. I felt our guys felt the emotion of having all those fans out there for the opening ceremonies. Again, I did ask Kyrie if he returned the young man. I didn't know if he was still, in the room, or I was kind of concerned. And then we did show the Rafiki. Was it Rafiki? Yeah, we showed that to the team after Kyrie did it. But absolutely, we're going to have fun, and we're going to work, and you can do both. Again, 1985, maybe people thought you couldn't do both, but we can, and we've proved that. We're going to prove that when you see us win a lot of football games.
You ever seen something like what Kyrie did yesterday?
I have never seen that. I have to say, and I was calling plays, so I literally was like, what's going on down there? And then I saw the video, but think if you're that young man. I mean, that's what the league should want. not always picking up kids and carrying them around the field, but like the excitement of the player and fan engagement. Like that kid will remember it for the rest of his life and takes me back, and I'm old, but like one of my greatest commercials of all time is the Mean Joe Green commercial, right? Was it Coke? It was Coke, right? Like, hey kid, and he throws a jersey. Like they look up, they idolize our players. Our players were those kids. They were them. So give back, do the right thing. And so absolutely the energy is something that if we're not having good energy, then I'm not doing my job.
Nicole Hutchison, DallasCowboys.com. Just talking about you experimenting with the nickel corner position, Wanya Thomas getting some opportunities there.
You said the nickel corner position? Okay, yep.
And just talk about the versatility that he brings. What do you like so far? He had an interception yesterday
Yeah.
in practice.
Wanya is one of the smartest players I've ever been around. He's got great command. His communication skills are elite. He doesn't keep anything a secret. You saw the flexibility. You saw the interception yesterday, right? He was playing kind of what we call a lean safety where he's cheated to one side, and Joe actually did a really good job of holding him. But when he saw Joe look left, he never hesitated. He trusted his instincts. He trusted what he felt, and then the athleticism to get there. But we want our guys on defense to be able to move around no different than you do offense. I've said it from the beginning. We're going to be multiple. And so whether you're playing three safeties, that type of nickel, whether you're playing a nickel package where it's true nickel, we're going to be multiple. We're going to move our piece all around. And guys like Wanya give us that. Keemon Hall's having a great camp. Zion's having a great camp. There's a lot of guys that are showing the flexibility to do the things that we want to do, which in a Matt Eberflus defense will be important to us staying ahead of the curve.
Deuce. Mike Ducey, Fox 4. You talked earlier about getting to know Jerry better. Obviously, he's a high-profile personality. You've been around the league a long time. What do you think the biggest misconceptions are about Jerry, maybe from what you thought before you got to know him as opposed to what you know now?
I would say the ability for he and I to have real hard conversations or conversations in general. I mean, this guy asks incredible questions in the draft process, watching practice. The questions that he asks is incredible, and he listens really, really well. If you say something to Jerry, you better remember it because he's going to remember it 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever it is. But, yeah, he's easy to communicate to, and so to me, that's a sign of a great leader. And again, you make decisions. I get educated all the time by talking to my coaches, and then I take in all the information, and I have to make the decision. The buck stops with me. Jerry's no different. Take in the information, ask the questions. Nobody thinks they have all the answers. I know I don't, but if you're a good listener, you ask the right questions, you dig, you probe, but you stay true to who you are and your convictions, then I think we all sleep well at night.
Mike, Coleman, KOTD, East Texas Sports. How patient of a coach are you, and what happens when your patience is challenged as a coach?
I have a temper. I think you guys saw it a couple days ago. We're in the teaching and the perfecting mode. Let me rephrase. We're in the perfecting mode right now. We're through off-season program. We're through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So the patience will wear a little bit thinner because we should be mastering. We should have mastered these installs. So yesterday offensively, we had too many mistakes. A couple guys going the wrong way, all that stuff. The elite communication that we preach wasn't there on offense. It was there on defense. So the defense had a better day. Hopefully the offense responds. They will. But to me, I just trust my gut, man. I really do. Like, if I like what I see, they're going to hear it. If I don't like what I see, they're going to hear it. And that's just the way that I'm wired. And I've been no different as a position coach, coaching quarterbacks, being a coordinator, being the head coach. Again, I'm going to trust my gut. And if there's something I like, again, I am an elite communicator. And sometimes the players and coaches like to hear it, and sometimes they don't. But I think I do a great job of communicating, and they kind of know where I'm coming from.
Kyle Yeomans, Dallas Cowboys TV. You talked about the importance of this being a physical camp. Now with the pads come on, is there a specific emphasis on your side to a specific either position group or a group of players, individual players, that they need to take it up a notch from on and out of practice?
They all do, because, if the offensive line and defensive line is going full speed, but the backs are tiptoeing through there, which they won't, then you're not going to get anything out of it. So no, I think they're all going to turn it up. And the biggest thing for me, again, as we move into this padded thud tempo is, working together. There's a strike zone where you're allowed to strike, which is, again, from the belt to the shoulder and no side shots and all that. You'll still see us punch at the ball, things like that. But, really at the end of the day, you guys will notice with me, I'm not a big 9-on-7 guy. I'm not a big 7-on-7 guy. This is a team game, man. Like, if we're running the football, CeeDee Lamb, which he had an unbelievable run block yesterday, and George and those guys, they have to go and dig out safeties. That's the game. So when you do 9-on-7, it's like, well, half your guys aren't out there. And so I'm a big, team period guy.
You have an extra emphasis on your coaching staff, too, to take the energy up a notch and try and take it even a step further?
You don't got to worry about those dudes. They'll be fine. Yeah, they might have barked, too. I'm not sure. That would have been at White Cotton. So probably Sam and White Cotton were probably aligned together when he says that, let's bark. So I ain't worried about the coaches at all.
A couple of things. You expect Bland and K9 back today?
Hopefully. Again, they're both dealing with personal things. Very exciting news for them to share, not for me. But, hopefully in the next 24 to 36 hours.
Anybody else expected to be out? Do you know of?
I'll find out when I head in there.
Secondly, can you talk about Terrence Steele, his availability, when you expect him back, and the decision to put Adidije in there at right tackle and not Austin? And I don't know if you got right and left, or how do you doing the right tackle thing?
Yeah, again, I'll find out about Terrence. I think he's doing good. We'll find out more though when I go in there. It is a padded practice, so we'll see. But yeah, Hakeem's done a really good job playing right tackle. Again, we love his experience and he knows how to play the game. And here's a new guy. I just think it's kudos to Will and Steven and Jerry, our scouting department, our pro personnel guys, Alex Loomis and guys like that, Klein Kubiak, about they're always looking to add pieces. And Hakeem's been very, very competitive. And the best sign of a tackle when you're a new tackle moving into a different role is when you don't even realize he's in there. You watch a film, you're like, oh, yeah, Hakeem's in there. Damn. Pretty good. So, it has had a really nice start to camp.
Subscribe to the swing tackle thing, or do you left, right? You want this guy working over here, this guy working over here?
Yeah, we're going to move them all around because you never know how a game's going to play out. You got to have the ability to swing. But we try guys in different spots. It's a little bit unique because you do change your stance, right-handed, left-hand stance, things like that. But we're also trying to figure out some guys are better on one side than the other. Doesn't mean they're not your swing tackle. You just know, okay, if he's playing here, we feel a little bit better about this. And if he's over there, maybe we help for him a little bit more. But that's all part of the multiplicity of your scheme to help guys when they need it.
I could be overthinking this, so this might be your opportunity to dunk on me here. We've seen some deep balls so far in camp, but it feels like there's been a heavier emphasis on a short to intermediate game. Is there something to that? Is that an intentional effort, or again, am I overthinking?
No, I think it goes back to, again, we're working together, we're competing. We missed 2 deep balls yesterday, which, would love to have those. I think it speaks to the fact of, Coach Eberflus and the defensive staff and Andre Curtis and those guys have done a nice job of trying to limit them. But I do think this, Nick, it takes a little bit longer to get your timing down on the deeper throws. We're also not going into routes on air and throwing all go balls and all deep post. Why? Because we're still getting their legs up underneath them. I think those throws will come, but there'll be no shortage of potential shots being taken in this offense.
2 quick ones. Campbell got nicked up yesterday. Will he go today? What's his health issue?
Yeah, again, I'll figure it out. I don't think it was anything too significant, but we'll figure it out when we go inside.
You're not a big 7-on-7, 9-on-7 guy. Did that develop over time as a coach, or was that something you've always...
No, developed over time. Marty Schottenheimer, 9-on-7, Shells, 2002 in San Diego. We had a guard by the name of Mike. It was Finoti, big guard from Nebraska, and Ben Lieber was a Sam linebacker. And we were in, this is old school, you could do this, but we were running basically 16 power. And we ran it 8 times, and Finoti, 350-pound guard, kept running in. And it was Ben Lieber's job to basically bring his outside arm and spill the ball to the edge. And after about the 5th or 6th time, he was like, please, somebody else play Sam. I mean, he was just – but over time, I've realized, and I think it's more the quarterback in me. The game's not played that way. The game's played with 11 on 11. Good deal? Can I go to practice now? Let's go.